This is gonna suck. Okay, so, Ron here again, talking at you from the beigest beige void I could find. More on that at the end of the video. And I'm here to talk about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, and other things associated with that. Before we get into that, though, there are a couple of disclaimers that I would want to bring up. A couple of clarifications I would want to preemptively make. The first thing, and I think contextually the most important thing, is I am not anti-gun. I don't think that it is helpful or useful or warranted to get angry at someone just for carrying a gun. Even if that gun is a big AR-15 or a big Bushmaster. I have come to the mindset that any effort to seize the arms of regular people must be frustrated and impeded by any means necessary. If you know, you know. And, yeah. I'm not going to, consequently, I'm not going to lambast or ridicule or even accuse Kyle Rittenhouse of crimes related to carrying or having a gun. Again, I don't think that's helpful, I don't think that's useful, I don't think it's something we should be doing. There's going to be more to that. I have a lot more to say about Kyle Rittenhouse and guns, specifically, but I want to make sure that that's out of the way. The second thing is that Kyle Rittenhouse, at the time that he did his thing, at the time that he killed 2 people, he was a minor. He was 17 years old. And that makes the process of him going through the criminal justice system, the process of accusing and prosecuting him for a crime, necessarily more difficult. Kyle Rittenhouse was a kid when this happened. And I need to put that specific word in a specific context. I've said for years, very specifically, very pointedly, that Michael Brown was a kid. He was a... And I feel like it would be morally irresponsible for me not to also say that Kyle Rittenhouse was a kid. The two things are not even remotely comparable. Michael Brown was violently murdered by a police officer for no good goddamn reason, and Kyle Rittenhouse violently murdered 2 people. Right? Those 2 cases are not comparable. They are, in fact, almost polar opposites. But there is this one aspect that they have in common that frustrates things significantly more, and that is that they were both kids. And I think it would be morally irresponsible for me not to acknowledge that. I think it's, at least on some level, morally irresponsible for other people not to acknowledge that in some capacity. So the first thing I want to talk about is this, the reason that I started making this video in the first place is this notion that lambasting or being angry at Kyle Rittenhouse for crying on the stand, or even saying that he's fake crying, is cringe, or it makes the left look bad, or it's kind of ghoulish. And I feel like the people who say that, they are either unintentionally or willfully ignoring the larger context. There are two things. There are 2 things here. The first thing is a more minor thing. And I don't say that lightly. The first and more minor thing is that people were going to be mad at Kyle Rittenhouse's testimony no matter what that testimony was. And that is for the simple fact that regardless of what his testimony was, necessarily it would be him trying to justify the killing of 2 unarmed people. And that, rightly so, would make people mad. People were going to be mad at his testimony regardless of what it was. But the more significant thing, I think, and the thing that people are really angry about, right? This entire court case, from start to finish, the entire thing has been a shit show. It has been just a parade of clown cars, all saying Kyle Rittenhouse is innocent. The judge has repeatedly demonstrated contempt for the prosecution, and has done things that blatantly, absurdly favor the defense. The defense could not... Now, the prosecution could not describe the people that Rittenhouse killed as victims, but they could describe them as arsonists and looters. 2, keeping the prosecution, saying that the prosecution could not use video evidence that had already been entered into evidence. I'm not making that up. I'm going to leave a link to a tweet from a lawyer who talks about how absurd that is. An actual lawyer on Twitter, for what that's worth. And I'm very sympathetic to the people, to the point where I just kind of agree with the people who are incredibly frustrated at how much the legal system, the criminal justice system, is bending over backwards to make sure that Kyle Rittenhouse becomes the perfect victim of a white hate crime. Right? An anti-white hate crime. Is what this is going to... the narrative about this is going to be. They prosecuted this white kid for no reason. I was reading another thing, right, where this guy was saying, Rittenhouse was a minor when this happened. I don't think it's helpful or beneficial to charge him as an adult. And I agree with that. Like, I went through the criminal justice system at a young age. I know how bad it is, and I don't want to make that worse for anyone. But, that's not what's happening here. What's happening here is a sham trial. And people can see that, and they're mad about it. And being mad at Rittenhouse in that context is one aspect of that. And if you're not acknowledging that, if you don't see that, then you're not paying attention. It is that simple. What's the next thing I wanted to talk about? The next thing was the nature of the crime. There are a lot of people on the far right. I think the Quartering actually made a tweet saying he was telling people to explain what Kyle Rittenhouse did that was against the law without mentioning this list of things. And a lot of people simply responded that what Kyle Rittenhouse did was went out and he killed 2 people with a fucking gun. And there's this video that I've been wanting to make for a long time about how there's this problem with the law. And that is that ideally the law isn't just a bunch of rules that people follow, right? It's a bunch of rules that people agree to. But more and more laws are being written without having regular people involved in the process. And therefore regular people have no way of understanding or agreeing with these laws and how they're written, which means that more people are going to consider these laws illegitimate. And this is relevant. This is very specifically relevant because of the NRA. Again, I'm going to get into this more at the end of the video, but I'm in Florida right now. I'm in Florida where George Zimmerman got off for killing Trayvon Martin, again with a gun, in one of the most egregious cases of the law failing to prosecute someone who should have been prosecuted that most people can point to in modern memory. And the reason that he got off is because groups like the NRA have made it so that pointing a gun at someone and killing them isn't necessarily a crime anymore. Like, to be clear, where I'm from, Illinois, we talk about Florida specifically in terms of they are the state that has legalized killing the poor. And we have to bear things like that in mind as far as the law is concerned. What Rittenhouse did is morally repugnant. Rittenhouse killed 2 unarmed people. Not only that, but I want to clarify here that Kyle Rittenhouse went to Kenosha, looking for a fight. You shouldn't get to claim self-defense when you start a fight. And in fact, I'm to understand that you can't claim self-defense if a fight you started gets out of hand. And if you flash a piece or flash a knife, that's you starting a fight. That's you saying that you're going to fuck someone up. You can say something without using words. What do you think this is? But the fact of the matter is that Kyle Rittenhouse going out, starting a fight, escalating that fight, and ending up killing 2 people might not be illegal. And I'm not saying that to defend Rittenhouse or what he did. I'm not doing that at all. I'm saying that as an admonishment to the legal system. Groups like the NRA, and the entire Republican Party, really, have fucked our legal system so badly that over the next 10 years we're probably going to have to, as soon as we fucking do something about the problem of fascism in this fucking country, we're going to have to take a long, hard look at the legal system and see if it's even possible to fix it, to fix the clusterfuck that it's in. And there are going to be people who say that, you know, the system is already irreparably broken, the system is supposed to be broken in the ways that it's broken, and the only way to make a more fair, more equitable system is to throw everything out and build something entirely new. And, you know, I actually agree with those people. And I think that it's possible to build something entirely new without too much difficulty. The thing that I would point to specifically is that the Constitution of the state of Illinois was actually written in 1964. It was written in recent enough memory that one of the people who helped wrote it, a guy by the name of Michael Madigan, was still the Speaker of the House in Illinois until last year. So, yeah, we can just call for conventions to rewrite state laws. That's maybe the easiest way to unfuck all the fuckery that's been done. Just something to keep in the back of your mind, maybe? I don't know. Is that everything I wanted to say? I'm pretty sure that's everything I wanted to say about Rittenhouse. Yeah. So, about the beige void, like I said, I'm in Florida. I have taken my annual go help someone in my family who has an illness with day-to-day stuff, a trip that I end up taking annually. Never been to Florida. Not sure I like it. I've been attacked by alligators every day I've been here. So yeah, I'm in Florida. My brother this time has a serious illness, and I'm not even really helping him with it. I'm helping him and his wife take care of his kids. Just, they've been under a lot of stress, and I'm trying to help with that for at least a couple of weeks. And, yeah. I don't like it in Florida. I will say it's not as hot as I thought it would be, although it is November and I have been mostly inside. But I don't like that I've been attacked by alligators, like, roughly once an hour. I would show you there's one pawing at the door right now. It doesn't frighten me. It just concerns me. But yeah, that's what the beige void is, and that's why the quality isn't as good as I'd like. I'm filming this on my phone. I wanted to make a short video every day that I was here, but I'm not sure how feasible that's going to be because I'm helping out a lot. But I'm gonna try. I'm tired of starting things and not finishing them, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I'm gonna try to have another video up tomorrow for any new viewers, I guess. This is going to be the baseline quality for a couple of weeks. At least a couple of weeks. So, I guess, until we get to tomorrow, go out, do something important, and take care of yourselves, alright?